Welcome to all my art students out there, and welcome to another draw along tutorial video. What we're going to be drawing today is a dog. Some of you know that I am the creator of the webcomic Doodle with Poodle, so I do enjoy drawing some dogs. This one is not one of my characters from the comic, but we're going to show you a very simple way to draw a dog. Now we're going to go back to the simple shapes here, and one simple shape we're going to begin with is a triangle. So for this triangle, it's going to be not just a triangle like this, to the side. This triangle is going to be tilted a little bit. So I'm going to make this initial line this way, and then I'm going to sketch it out. So notice the triangle is not completely even. Now let's go ahead and make it straight here. Okay, so you can see it's kind of going to the upper left corner. So from there, what I'm going to do is just go right to it and draw on a nose. And then from the nose, I'm going to, let's do this. Let's move that nose a little bit over. Oops. I'll go ahead and select it. Move it down like that. Yeah, I like that a little bit better. So there's the nose. Then we'll go ahead and draw in some ovals for the eyes. We're going to have the dog kind of looking to his side. And then we'll go ahead and draw in some eyebrows. Like that. And we're going to kind of draw the eyelids underneath the eyes, or on the bottom part of the eye, so it kind of is like he was looking up to the side a little bit. And maybe what we could do is change this a tad. To make him looking a little bit more up and behind him. Next, we'll just go ahead and draw in the smile. We can just do that by drawing one curved line. And then we'll pull this line up like that. It's really simple, just basic lines. They don't have to be perfect. We'll go ahead and put in some classic teeth. Okay. So as we can see, there's character, there's personality happening already with our drawing, which is great. So let's go ahead and move on here. Start to sketch out the body. So this line can just pretty much curve down like that. And this line will have it curve out. So the very, very slight curve with the line on the right, and this one, nice smooth curved line on the left. Now there's many different ways we can go from now. We're going to kind of give him more of a human posture as he stands up here. You can kind of clean up this line a little bit now. And then from there, let's go ahead and start to, let's add the arm. Yeah. And I kind of want that just to go a little bit lower. You might be thinking, man, he's erasing a whole lot. Why doesn't he just draw it perfect the first time? And when we're drawing, it's not about making it perfect the first time. Well, not when we're sketching. We should be relaxed. We should be having a good time here as we just sketch out our artwork. Now, of course, we can kind of add little fingers there. You know, we could add a little thumb. It's really up to how detailed we want those hands to be. Let's go ahead and add maybe a spot on its tummy. There we go, a little spot right there on his stomach. And then we definitely need a collar for this dog. So maybe the collar might hang off a little bit. Like that. We'll draw a little emblem. Maybe we'll put an S for Spot. Maybe that's his name because he has a spot. And now I could connect that, but sometimes it's fun just to let things kind of just hang. Okay, a little stylistic choice there, just to let it hang. From there, we can go ahead and draw in the ear. The ear, pretty simple. Just bring it down. And this line's going to curve and connect. Okay. And then from there, we can kind of add in some hair. Have kind of a funky little hairstyle right there. And of course, it's a dog, so he needs a tail. There's his little tail. Now what you can do, this is a cartoon, so we don't have to be completely realistic, but if you wanted to, you could have another ear kind of hang in the distance like this. You could do something like that. You don't have to, that's definitely optional because it is a cartoon. And cartoons aren't 100% realistic, obviously. So there's the rough sketch of our dog. So what I can do now is open up to a new layer, and what you can do if you're doing this with a traditional pencil is take your eraser, and this is why kneaded erasers are really nice, and slightly go over your lines to make them really, really light. Okay, so slightly erase your lines to make them very, very light so you can barely see them, and then you can go over your artwork with a darker, maybe dulled down number 2 pencil. Or you can even do what I'm going to do and use a brush pen, a black ink pen, which, as you can see, kind of allows me to make some thin and thick lines. So I'll just go ahead and very carefully start out here. And during the inking process, this is where you want to be very exact. Really control the width of your lines. How thick do you want them to be? How thin do you want them to be? I'll go ahead and draw in the eyebrows. I'll ink those. And when you're using a brush pen, like I am here, or using a digital brush pen, but it emulates a real brush pen, what you'll notice is some lines, I can go smooth to thick to smooth. So you have to draw smoothly on the parts that you want to be smooth, and then you can thicken them up where you want them to be thick. And you can do this if you're just using like maybe a regular Bic pen that you got someplace. Maybe you got it from a company. It's a free pen that you received. You can do that just by going over your lines multiple times. So you don't have to use a brush pen, but I like to use them. Now during this process of art making, you might want to have some music to listen to. Something that is relaxing to you. And it's your job as an artist to determine which lines do you want to be thick and which lines should be thin. Notice here, these lines right here are a lot thicker in the legs, and some of these lines are a lot more thin. And that's just a choice that you're going to have to make, and it really comes with experience as well. Okay, now, let me add in little whiskers. Okay, so at this point, I can go back and completely erase my bottom layer. So we just have the inked drawing now. Go back and see if there's any places where I kind of messed up. Now, you might not be able to erase because you might not be drawing digitally, but if there's a line you don't like, you can go over it and try to thicken it up to fix your mistake or the part that you're not really super happy with, just by thickening up your lines. Because if you're obviously doing this in real life, you can't go back and erase your ink marks. So from there, we'll move on here. And what I like to do, I like to use white gel pens. And you can go back over your ink lines and just add little highlights. And they're just kind of more for fun. So from this right here, I'm going to insert another layer. And this is going to be my coloring layer where I'm going to color. Now I'm going to color with a tool that's going to emulate color pencils. So now I get to choose a color for my dog character. And I'm going to kind of go like a blue, maybe a blue-gray color. Let me see if I like that. Yeah, I kind of like that. Maybe I can go a tad lighter. And then I'll go ahead and start to color this guy in here. If you don't have color pencils at home, you can always use marker or even crayon. You could always paint this onto a canvas even if you want to do that and actually use paints. Okay, now what I'm going to do is get a slightly darker value, and I'm going to go over some parts that could be a little bit darker. To add some variety, a little bit of shading. Then I'm going to throw in pops of other color as well. So I'm going to lower my opacity, so what you might want to do is just draw very, very, very lightly, or color very, very, very lightly. Someone told me a long time ago, they said when you're using color pencils, you should never, ever just use one color pencil. Mix them up like you would with paint. And then you create colors that other people don't have. Because the amateur artist goes straight to the pencil box and pulls out one color and makes everything that color. So then I'm going to play around here and think, what other colors can I throw in here? Maybe I can go a little bit darker right here. Maybe a little bit darker here. And this makes coloring with color pencils so much more entertaining than just filling in the empty area. Because you really have to think a little bit more about exactly what are we doing. Okay, from there I'm going to get some darker hues. And then I'm going to go with a completely different color, which I'm using a blue. So if we go on the color wheel, complementary color to blue, which is the color opposite of blue, is orange. So colors that are opposite on the color wheel we call complementary colors because they kind of complement each other. So we'll use that. Give them a nice gold name tag. And then I'm going to go with maybe a light, very, very light orange on a stomach spot. We're going to get some different orange. Can add a little bit of value. Applying the idea of always having more than one color pencil. You kind of mix them together as I'm doing here. So now I can go ahead and fix any mistakes I made by erasing it, because we're dealing with color pencil. And I'm going to go ahead and throw in a little bit of a shadow on the ground. We'll even stick with the color pencil theme. And we're lightening that up a lot. You could do that just by erasing it lightly. And there's our quick drawing, sketch, artwork of our dog. I guess we can call him Spot because he has a spot. So there he is. Yeah, I like him. I like him. Fun little character. Fun little doggy character for those dog lovers out there. So there's our draw along tutorial for today. Feel free to send me your drawings. You can email them to me. You can send them to me via social media, whatever. Just photograph those, send them to me so I can see what you guys have made. Hopefully some excellent artwork here. And what I want to encourage you to do is keep all your drawings in a sketchbook. That way you can see yourself improving over time. During this time where a lot of people are stuck at home, it's a great time to continue to learn, continue to grow. Drawing does two different things. Sometimes it stretches our minds to think a little bit differently, and at the same time it can relax us as well. So those are two great things to be doing at home, maybe while we're bored or we're in just different situations, to stretch our mind, but at the same time relax our minds as well. So thanks for tuning in today to Tripp's art class. Catch you later.